Hey, Nubia here with Beyond the Sun Consulting.me. Today's podcast episode, experience more freedom with boundaries and structure. That might sound anti, that might sound like it's the opposite of experiencing freedom. But I want to ask you, who loves the idea of doing what you want when you want? I love when Ramit Sethi, the personal financial finance guy, you know, talks about how his clients always, when they're planning for retirement, they're like, or financial freedom, they're just like, I want to do what I want when I want. And the next question is, what do you want? So let me start with some transparency because first, I am experiencing overwhelm. And I thought that the topic of experiencing freedom by implementing boundaries and structure was perfect for this Scorpio season that we're in as we foray into the next phase of Scorpio season. I am I am sharing this on my what's called my step birthday. So I'm a step 21 Scorpio. The sun was at 21 degrees Scorpio when I was born. And Scorpio is a either a master or a new student when it comes to boundaries. But you know that stinger on a scorpion, that's all about enforcing boundaries. So, in all transparency, let me just say I'm feeling overwhelmed. This journey that you're going to witness on YouTube or wherever else I share this podcast is for both you and I to track the progress of me growing as a consultant or a freelancer or side hustler or whatever the term would be. Because while I love doing what I do, I love being who I am. Marketing is a whole nother topic, and I just feel overwhelmed. So journey with me. I love doing my business, and now this YouTube foray is to market the business is new. So you're going to journey with me as I still help people, right? I'm still going to be helping people and sharing how I help people and offering to help people. I have some notes that I'm going to be referring to. So FYI, got to keep myself on track. So going back to doing what you want when you want, have you ever decided what you want? In this season of Scorpio, we are going to discuss how to create freedom through boundaries and structure. And side note, real quick, if you look at your birth map and you check out where the sun is in your birth map, you can see what themes will play out in your life or what themes you showed up to express in your life. For me, my theme is freedom. The sun for me is in the 11th house. So, being a Scorpio, I'm all about being a master of boundaries. So, I use boundaries to help others experience freedom. And with my Capricorn rising, doing doing those things in a structured way is most likely the way to experience freedom. Um, through structure. So it makes sense that I'm talking about this and that it's coming up for me, a person who is experiencing overwhelm and who wants more freedom in their lives and who wants others to experience more freedom in their life. So if you're a Gen X woman over 40, if you're a Gen X woman or you're a woman over 40, because I understand now we got some millennials over 40, you might be that sandwich generation where you're taking care of those older than you or those who have been a parental figure for you, and you're taking care of those who are younger than you, such as your children or your nephews or nieces. And if you're also trying to build a business or to, let's say, go back to school or to grow in some area of your life, you feel like you need to rest. And then you're like, if I just rest, then I can get back on track. So you might need a week just for rest, and then you need a week to get back on track, but you might not have that kind of time. This week, I took off the week of my birthday, and I had the idea that I was going to do certain things, but I did not have the structure, the infrastructure in place to help me accomplish each of those things. So, this is another reason why you're gonna, we're learning together. Um, so, I want to share, how can you win? You win to experience leisure, and you win to not feel guilty about it by creating boundaries and structure. You do that by implementing systems, checklists, and routines. And you're going to do that in all areas of your life. And I have tips for you for business, your home life, lifestyle, spirituality, and in the area of your finances as well. Now, I'm not an expert in that. I'm just saying here are ways that you can create boundaries and structure in those areas so that you can experience more freedom. You know, this is real. Remember that done is better than perfect, and that's another reason why I did not wait to get this episode out. So, taking a breather. Remember that done is better than perfect when you're creating a life of freedom. Here are ways that you can create systems, checklists, and routines in the business area of your life. Automation. If you have a if you are focused in one area of, let's say, marketing your business, if you market primarily on YouTube, then you schedule, you pre-schedule your posts, you plan what topic you're going to discuss, and then you even create room, you build in room to have a wild card topic if you want to comment or create um, a marketing video about the topic du jour, the moment, the topic of pop culture or what have you. And you batch record. That's structure. Okay, this is how you're going to win. This is what I am attempting to do. And I want to shout out to Leah Janelle of the Systemize Her podcast. We're also in a mentorship group together, and she is like one of the best. She's what do you call it? Like a facilitator amongst the mentees in the mentorship group. So Leah Janelle of the Systemize Her podcast offers some really great options for those of us who are just marketing the business and want a little more structure. So check her out and then visit her website. Here are ways that you can add structure to your home life, either meal prep or purchase cooked meal options. There's also meal delivery services. If you are on a fitness journey and you're trying to fit that in, you're going to need to create some meals or buy some meals that fit within the macros. And it's possible. You know, being a woman over 40, I'm wondering where's this energy going to come from? And so you think about supplements that would help to restore energy, that would help to sustain energy. You think about a sleep schedule to make sure that you're resting. But these are all ways that you can create your routine, your AM routine, your PM routine, and with your home life, your meal prep. It's crazy to think that there are people. I mean, from my perspective, I don't have children. I don't have a family. I don't have a pet. Meaning I don't have my own family to, that I'm no longer married, so I don't have like anyone to tend to. Um, and I am wondering how in the world parents, my peers who are parents, do anything, those who also have a business. I I I give mad kudos to you, and I feel you. I I admire you. And so if you are one of those people and you have some tips in addition to what I'm sharing, put in the comments what works for you. Comment, send me a direct message or share in the comments what works for you. That way you might be helping someone else. But like I said, creating boundaries and structure is what's going to help you live a life of freedom. So with your home life, meal prep, an AM routine, a PM routine, and um, getting meal options that are versatile. So, for example, you can have, a particular your favorite vegetable, your favorite protein. If it happens to be a vegetable, what have you, you have that's versatile. You can make three different dishes from that. You can choose to buy your meal. Oh, Trader Joe's has these Patsy U um, noodle and vegetable dishes with some tofu in it that you can just like, I eat that for lunch. I am glad to eat that for lunch every day of the week. And I do. So that's an example. So with your lifestyle, here's an example of how to incorporate systems and checklists and routines into your lifestyle to create boundaries and experience freedom. Decide and schedule your weekly, your daily, and your monthly experiences. Then stack habits. So, for example, if you want to create a new habit in your morning routine, if you want to start stretching, you can, as soon as you get up, you can stretch your toes to, let's say, pull back the covers on your bed. You can do a stretch in the bed, and then you can move and do more stretches as you're making your bed. If your routine involves making your bed, you can create a routine to, as soon as you, let's say, wake up and after your elimination, you come back and you stretch while you make the bed, or you can, just come back and just make the bed as your part of your new routine. There's something I wanted to do called oil pulling because I wanted to whiten my teeth naturally and improve the microbiome, because our microbiome, again, something as a woman over 40, something that we have to be careful about for our entire body's health is the health of our mouths. So I said, okay, I got a tip from this from a woman, and if I remember the video, I'll be sure to link it. But she does oil pulling, and she said, okay, she does that while she takes her shower because it takes like I think 10 or 15 minutes is the ideal amount of time to do that. So, okay, while you shower, that's a great habit to stack. So habit stacking is an example of how you can incorporate um, systems into your lifestyle. So let's say for spirituality, you wanted to apply that habit stacking. If you don't have a spiritual routine and you want to incorporate it, one thing that you can do, one thing that I've started doing or that I've been doing probably for the past year or so is as soon as I wake up, I take 3 deep breaths, 3 intentional deep breaths, so that I can be present and I immediately say thank you to whatever force that is, whatever creator that is, whatever that source is that woke me up. I offer gratitude and it puts me in a state of focus. There's something I wanted to do. I wanted to have, um, let's say in spirituality, sometimes we don't always have time for journaling. So I just think of 3 things that I'm going to offer as an intention for my day. And I'm going to set that intention for my day. And then part of my routine for spirituality, I subscribe to Notes from the Universe by Mike Dooley, and I make sure to read that note. There's another offering from someone who it's Wisdom by Louise Hay, Wisdom from Louise Hay. Now, that note doesn't come from Louise Hay, obviously, because she has passed, but I think it was like the Cosmic Chef. And so they have like affirmations for the whole week. And I make sure to put a reminder on my phone to say, look at this list tomorrow and the next day and the next day. So yes, I do look at my phone, but for a specific reason to read the notes from the universe and to look at that wisdom. So I can kind of set my tone, set the tone for my day. And that's those are tips for spirituality. If you want to include some tips for your financial planning, you can plan for your monthly escape. There was someone I listened to on YouTube, and they mentioned, or maybe it wasn't YouTube. I don't remember at this point. I think that you have to plan a day every month just to be away from work that is separate from, the weekend. The months that you do not have holidays, you can plan for a day off and you have paid time. So it's like paid time off. Use that time. You can extend for that time if you're still working by planning around holidays. And so for finances though, just to make sure I hit this example, if you want to include a if you want to plan for a particular like a milestone birthday, then you do the math to find out how much that's going to cost, and then you plan backward. You work backward to plan to say, okay, this is the date that I want to have this. I'm going to save up X amount of money every pay period. And so by the time it comes time to have that vacation or have that experience, I'll have the money saved up. And when I do charge my card, that money will already be saved in my high yield savings account where I get 4% or 3.1% annual percentage yield. So plan for your monthly escape or for um, plan to spend your money, plan to enjoy your money, and schedule the dates that your let's say your financial institution, um, your brokerage account sweeps your checking or savings account to add to your Roth, for example, your Roth IRA. Schedule that. Schedule monthly investments. Schedule, and you're directly setting yourself up to experience freedom later by doing that. So that's an example for finance. So here's a bonus or, wild card um, tip for those of us who are working and who like our jobs and who want to continue to work. While you're at work, start by structuring your day. Start by structuring your day. If you feel like the day gets away from you at work, make sure that you calendar your time so that the first 15 minutes and the last 15 minutes, for example, of your workday, you leave for admin work. What emails do I need to follow up on? What emails do I need to reply to? What are actionable tasks? And that's an example. So with all of these examples, creating boundaries to stick to the framework. And this is all a framework. It's not a rule. These are not rules. These are suggestions. With all of these, creating boundaries, sticking to the framework is honoring your commitment to winning at experiencing a lifestyle of freedom because you've already built in everything that matters to you. So you have to establish the boundaries. You don't even have to mention it to anyone else. For example, if you know there's a meeting that starts at 8 a.m., but your work hours are 9, start at 9, then you are not going to make that meeting. And that's for your work life and your business life and your personal life. It's like that's a boundary that you're like, this is outside of my work hours. So I'm not going to participate or attend that meeting. And you find a way to either get the information or give the information that you need, but you have to establish boundaries to experience more freedom because that way you acknowledge to yourself setting a standard is not a goal, right? Setting a standard, having a standard is not having a goal. So if you say every other month, I'm going to do XYZ, you have the framework. So this whole week, I said I want to do this on one of these days, do X on one of these days, but I didn't say, okay, on Tuesday, I'm going to use that day. It's just that on one of these days, whatever day I'm feeling and whatever day it seems the best, I'm going to structure out my week to focus on the podcast. And then another day I'm going to do nothing. And then another day at after the day has ended, I'm going to make sure I watch a movie. I'm going to make sure I laugh. It's just that you have these boundaries and you carve in time that allows for a wild card. So I hope these tips have helped you um, experience or understand ways that you can experience more freedom by incorporating boundaries and structure into your life. If you would like help And if any of this resonated with you, do subscribe, do share this with someone, and do let me know in the comments that you made it this far. Put one of the smiling emojis with the glasses on to let me know you made it this far. One other thing, if you'd like to know where the boundaries area is in your life, where you could use more boundaries, or where maybe you think you need to loosen up on your boundaries, schedule a consultation with me. I'm at beyondthesunconsulting.me, and I currently have a introductory rate for consultations. And if we feel that it's necessary to, or that we're a good fit for each other to work together for coaching, I'd love to help you find out where you are on your map. We can decide what it is you want so you can do what you want when you want. And then I can help you. I can customize a plan or a framework to help you get from where you are to where you want to be. Thanks for tuning in. This is Nubia with BeyondTheSunConsulting.me, and I'll see you next time. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I'll be sure to respond.